Oh, Hearns hit him with the right hand. Hearns another right. Hearns hits him with an uppercut. Hagler, he's hurt. Hagler.
Light, that's really bad.
What did they say? It's
Come in. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us here today at Fredericks. We're here today with Chris Eubanks Jr. to talk about his forthcoming fight. He's here with his father and manager and promoter, Chris Sr. and the old fellow on my right here, Willie Davis. Trader. Chris has got a fight on next week, 25th of October, at the Echo Arena in Liverpool, on the undercard of Paul Butler super flyweight fight, and the various championship fights that are on that card, including the European Flyweight Championship between Valerie Yangchi and Kevin Satchel, and Liam Smith's fight against Zoltan Sierra, which is for the vacant WBA Continental Light Middleweight title. Derry Matthews is also on there in a WBA Continental Lightweight Championship against Adam Dinsdale from Green Kent. And we've got the vacant WBO European Light Welterweight title between Tom Stalker and Jack Catterall, which is a cracking fight, one I'm looking forward to. Chris was due to fight Jez Wilson, who pulled out the fight, and we're now looking for an opponent. That's as of this morning. So we're now looking for an opponent for him. So we'll announce the opponent as soon as we can. Obviously, I'm looking for, and I'm going to be straight about it, I'm looking for the easiest fight I can find for him. I don't want no upsets. I want him to come through his fight so we can get the big one. Anyway, all the guys are here. I'm sure you've got a lot of questions to ask after all the
yes. Can I ask you, Frank, if the Chris Jr.'s opponent pulled out on Saturday, why have him fight at all and put at risk the big one?
Because the bottom line is that's what we agreed, and that's what what we signed for. So that's what we're going to do. That's the fight, and personally, I prefer that not to happen because anything can happen in the fight. But it's that's where we are. That was what the terms were to make sure that Chris gets these two fights before the end of the year.
I'm a fighter. That's what I do. I fight. So it doesn't matter that I've got this fight on the 29th. The fact is that I want to be out as much as possible, and whoever they put in front of me, I guess you could call it a warm-up fight, but it's all progress, it's all experience, and it's all going to help me to progress my career. So as many fights as possible. That's what I want.
Chris, how does it upset your preparation not knowing who you're going to fight?
I'm not upset at all. The guys pulled out. That's boxing. I've had people pull out fights my entire career, and in the amateurs as well. It's something that I've learned to deal with, and that's why I spar so many different types of opponents, because you never know what's going to happen. So I've been sparring southpaws, I've been sparring tall guys, short guys, fat guys, skinny guys. It doesn't matter. So I'm ready for anyone to put in front of me.
Which obviously is the life of a fighter. He's supposed to be sparring all the time. He's supposed to be sparring all the time, and he is doing just that. So,
can you just talk us through your training preparation at the moment?
Talk you through it.
What do you do on a day to day?
Day to day, I'm putting the most effort in as I can. Obviously, this fight is 2 weeks away, so I've been in the gym. I've been in the gym for the last 2 months. Really, I was over in the States training with Floyd Mayweather Money Team for a month. Got back a few weeks ago, so I've been in the gym non-stop. Really had great sparring out there, and I've had decent sparring out here. I'm in the gym every day, running every day. I'm fit. I'm ready. I'll be ready to fight tomorrow if I had to. So
I'd like to add to that really, if you add it together, he really hasn't had breaks. So he's been training for 9 years for this fight, which Wilson has called out. Never mind Billy Joe Saunders. There hasn't been any breaks. I think he's taken a 7-day break. And I should probably give him a bit more breaks.
We're not supposed to mention Billy Joe Saunders.
Oh no, we can. Yeah, I'll tell you why.
Good.
I spoke to Mr. Smith, Robert Smith, and he said the fight has been sanctioned.
Told you it would be.
He told me, but I had to get it, and he had to keep to the contract, right? You've got to keep to the
Well, I
contract.
wrote the contract.
Have you?
No,
Four
not
times. 4 times you've breached it. But that's okay. That's okay.
Have you got your fight? Have you got your fight?
I've got the fight.
Did we deliver the fight?
Thank you, Frank.
Good, so let's talk about it. Get Bill on. He's here, Bill. He's hiding behind that cover. Let's see what he's got to say. The 25th, we know where we are. We know what we're doing. Chris has brought out, it's good to talk, and it's good to talk. Let's get him on. Let's talk about it. 'Cause that's the fight that counts. That's the one that Bill's in Spain. So he's had to go training. He's trying to get everyone together. Work doing it.
This has been
Why we stand up at a rest conference when I was down at 4? You read anything? Can you talk?
We don't know, you're right. It's not really. Can somebody do something with, or translate? Can you hear us, Bill?
Yeah, he said I can. Yeah, why couldn't you talk when I was at the press conference 3 weeks ago?
Listen, you will stop fighting their body, bringing around human asking one more star and one more fight. Well, if you've got parables, get a ring and find out one more. And then you're around trainers, come fight me in the ring. Don't run around scared of little pussy what you are. Look at your old dad there. What? Where? Look at you. Look, we shot there. Listen, don't fight me, you got that ball. You're a little boy.
The contract is signed. There's no doubt that the fight's going to happen. You know, like I said, the contract. There's no
I'll give you 20 grand not to fight Liverpool. How about that? You'll be paying me £20,000 not to fight
What he said, he said,
now a man is whatever else.
I think he said, I'll give you 20 grand not to fight in Liverpool. In case anything goes wrong.
Listen, I don't want you Christians, the public don't want you make an excuse, you got a finger, or even still you your ass. We want the fight to make it happen. So I'll give you 20 grand not to fight Liverpool. Do you want that deal today? And I'll have the money in your account by the end of the day. Do you want that in your account?
There's no excuse, bro. The fight's going to happen regardless of
if you think this is if you stay here and they don't practice and you don't talk, then you want to talk here. You want to do that? Mr. Eubank, if you want 20 grand in this £100 a day, you're not fighting Liverpool. You don't do. Listen, all our people are going to be proposing what they want you. You feed as much as you can from it. I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to do that.
You're not audible?
I'll tell you what he said.
This is cheating, man.
You want to put 20 grand, here send 20 grand to your account today, so you don't fight in Liverpool, so you're not out of pocket, just in case anything goes wrong. That's what he said.
I don't need this guy's money. He's actually saved as much money as he can, because after the 29th, he's not going to have a career. So keep your money, and I'll see you
I'm with your opponent now. Who you're fighting, I'm with you now, yeah. I don't want you to get in and around here, so what I'm going to do is I'm just telling you here, yeah, here he is here, he's here now, yeah, 32 back, yeah, this is your opponent, this is your next opponent, Liverpool. I'll give you 20 grand off the fight in. You want that?
It's a shame we're getting a problem here with the Skype thing. The bottom line of all this, young Christopher fights next week, on the 25th, and then this fight's on built as Chris said now, it's okay, he wants to talk about it. That's the fight that all the fans are interested in. It's captured the imagination of all the boxing fans, and I think it's going to be one of those crossover fights that gets the general public involved. And it's a great fight, two really good quality young fighters, both undefeated, and so much to go for in this.
Frank, can I say one thing, please?
You can say.
I don't mean getting hurt, because when he comes up, he's going to have a bad thing or a bad land. I don't mean listen, don't look at the floor. Look at it. Look at me when I'm talking. Don't look at the floor. Yeah, I'm not going to put them in your face. Yeah, on the screen. So you don't look at you and stuff that you can look at him. You can't fight in the ring. You know you're going to get beat. And I know I'm going to do it. And you know that as well. Just like a fight,
don't need your money. You're going to get on the 29th after I've dealt with Jazz Wilson or whoever they put in front of me, and then I'm going to say
Thank you. It's a dead money. Someone else will cost you. You want to buy them. You want to build your own one. Yeah. You're not going to get there. So you're back. Yeah.
So I want to shut this down. Can you shut this down now?
I can't shut down.
Can you close the...
No, don't shut it down.
Or is it audible? Who can hear? I don't understand.
Listen, Chris, listen. I want to move to your song. I don't feel like you need to do, mate. Slow. Yeah, Earth be bad. It's going to be painful for you to watch. I'm not in there. I'm very distracted.
We can't talk over this.
No, we can't shut up. Leave it on. It's copyright. Leave it on. Listen, if you feel uncomfortable on TV, if you what you're going to do in the ring with me. Come on, man. Go on, Eddie. Come on. Go on there.
Can we talk about that?
No, we can't discuss.
What we want to do, Bill, we want to let the press, if they've got any questions to ask.
Well,
that's what it is.
Well, we would like to respond.
We'll respond, yeah.
Okay, well, first of all, the £20,000, as kind of gesture as it is, yeah, what we need is the fights, because we're building Christopher to be a world champion of superior standard, and for that he has to have the fights. So it's not about money. Right now, it isn't about money. It's about building him to being a fighter that can actually serve Great Britain in the way sportsmen used to, and put the...
We don't do that at any point in top rules, do you? Let him fight real about what they then will.
Okay, you have your...
Let's just say what you've got to say, then everyone can speak one at a time.
So it's not the money we need the fights. And that's why I've been pressing Frank for, well, since we began to co-promote together, I've been pressing Frank for the fights. We need the fights because Christopher is being built into a super fighter. He's followed the code, he has been relentless, and what you haven't seen from him is rubbish. Okay, he's been built. And you know what's going to happen on that night at the Excel Arena, the best man is going to win. You know, we wish him what he deserves, and so too we wish Christopher what he deserves. Each will get what they've worked for.
You're not tempted to take the 20 grand?
Oh, absolutely not. We need to fight. It's not money we need. We need to build him into a fighter that's going to actually represent the United Kingdom around the entire globe. And I should think you would want that. You know, as a media and as a public. You'd want someone built into a fighter that can actually challenge the globe. And that's what we're doing. So it's not the money we need the fight. That's why you must provide that opponent on the 25th.
And if you want to talk about money, we're getting paid more than that for the fight anyway. So $20 grand it doesn't make sense. We need the fights, and it's going to be it's a stepping stone fight. It's just going to get me ready for this guy. So it's there is no excuses. There's no I'm going to get injured and then pull out. Never. I fought my second professional fight. I fought with one hand for the entire 6 rounds, and that was my second professional fight. So come rain or shine, whether I'm injured or not, the fight's going to happen. It has to.
Well, and you're right, it is that time, but what I don't want you to do is to come back and say, wiggling your finger or your arms in the boxing public room, girl. Nobody else, because you want not me up, so let's do the better man is on the 29th. I don't want you pulling out no injuries.
We will see the better man is.
Don't think boxing whether it's agree with me. It's bizarre for you to take a fight when you're not fighting you 4 weeks after. It just don't make any sense. It's that in itself, that your bones going on. You're not running enough. You know it's time. You know it.
Right, so tell me this is where we are. It's obviously not, that's not going to happen, Bill, what you're suggesting. I think it's a good suggestion. It's not going to happen. So Christopher's going to fight on the 25th. We will sort an opponent out. Hopefully he comes through that fight okay. That's my only concern.
There's no hope about
that. Things happening first. He comes through okay. Then the most important thing is that this fight is on the 29th. The 29th is one of the best cards I think I've seen in Britain for a long, long time. Real good quality fights.
Frank, would you say that Saunders Eubank Jr. has now superseded Fury and Chisora in the public interest? I'm not talking about boxing people, I'm talking about generally.
I don't know. I mean, you know, there's been a lot of interest, obviously, in with Derek and Tyson Fury. But again, I think that what's happened with Billy Joe and with young Christopher is that it's known about it in boxing circles. But I think if we can promote this properly and everybody works together to promote this properly, there's a crossover effect, and that crossover effect will be great for the fighters, because that's when they suddenly become household names, big stars. And that's where we are, and that's what we're working on.
What I'd like to add to that is the fact that, in my view, Mr. Hunt,
you can call me Colin, Chris.
Okay, Colin, thank you. Billy has already made the fight bigger than the Tyson Fury Chisora fight. He's done that by the things he has said. And what's going to happen now? He will, as Christopher will, have to prove what we are all looking at. Who is the better fighter? So the fight is already bigger than Chisora and Tyson.
But let me just tell you, things that have to happen for these fights to promote it, because Bill's on there, and as you quite rightly say, it's a bad line, and it's, you know, sometimes it's a little bit inaudible. We have to have the press conferences with the two guys together, so that press can get what they want out of it, and we can, as promoters, be able to promote the show. That's what we want. We want the photographs of them together. We want to be able to promote this. There's a lot on the line for us as promoters, and we're working very hard to do it. And it's, you know, we kept him out on Bill for months now over here. He's gone to his training camp, and you can understand why. But going forward for this, we have to have proper access to the press, to the TV, to turn this into the fight it deserves to be. It doesn't deserve to be pushed over, kept quiet, and all the nonsense that goes on. We need proper press for it. So that the guys can train to be 100% when they get in the ring, but we can sell this fight.
That said, something that I said after an interview was that Christopher was going to change the game. Now, a lot of people obviously thought I was talking about boxing. Boxing, indeed, I think he will. But from a contractual point of view, he's already changed the game in that he hasn't actually spoken about this particular fight because it would have been in breach of the contract. That's how he's changing the game. And he's going to inspire other fighters to do just the same.
The contract
Same question to Chris Jr. You think this fight with Billy Joe Saunders is now bigger than the Tyson Fury?
I mean, going from what I've heard and what people are telling me and from the social media responses, this is the one everyone's talking about. Obviously Chisora and Fury is a big fight, but they've already fought. So this is a brand new. This is a new era. This is a new fight. So I think that's what's got people excited. They don't know what I'm going to bring to the table. They hear everything that this guy's saying, and they want to see if they can back it up. So I think it is a bigger fight.
How excited are you to have this fight and to be involved in a fight that is so anticipated and so?
It's great. I think it's 30,000 people is going to be at the XL Arena, something like that. That's the number I heard. I'm not sure that's true or not, but this is.
I hope so.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge event. It's going to be great, and to be in a rivalry. This is something that every boxer dreams of, being against somebody that the whole British public wants to see beat, and there's some serious emotions, public emotions going into this fight. So it's going to be serious, and it's one of those things where I'm going to be fighting for the British, the Commonwealth, and the European, and all in one.
Old man about Nigel Benn and Steve Collins, and it's finally good to be involved in one of these kind of matchups yourself.
Of course, yeah. Obviously growing up, I saw his rivalries, and I always dreamed about having my own. But to be honest, you know, those fighters that he fought, Ben and Watson's, they're a different caliber to this guy. This guy is not even half of what they were. So really and truly, it's not the same. But the public, they still want to see the fight. So you know, it's going to be explosive.
You want to make sure that you don't have an injury and don't frame up with this and start saying, making changes. Have you signed the fight, Chris, yeah?
I've signed the contract, and even if I had no eyes, I'll still beat you. So don't worry about my injury.
On contract, the biggest thing here is that the public doesn't get that. We don't want the British public walking fans getting us down.
It's not coming through, Bill.
You and your language have already let the British public down. And we're going to see to it that we correct just that.
Everybody's done now. So let's make it happen. Let's not be running around.
We're not running from you, we're running to you, young man. We're running to you.
Bonnie, is this history repeating itself for you?
Yeah, to a certain extent. I never heard Chris Senior bad enough anyone. He never bad not right. We was like to think we were gentlemen, you know. You didn't have to. I don't like all this rubbish talk. I don't like it. No need of it. It won't come from us.
Well, to be fair, I mean, it's been going both ways with the Tippers and all that. You know, there's been a lot of things said, but that's it, and that's probably what the fans have seen. The Twitter stuff is what's got everybody at it. So let's be honest about that. And you're right, Ron. I mean, this fight doesn't need bad. It's called bad blood, but it doesn't need, you know, for the two guys to be, you know, getting at it before the fight. It is a great fight. The public know about it now. There's a lot of aspects to it, you know. When you look at Bill, he's trained by Jimmy Tibbs, so older three of yours as a trainer, so there's that side of it. They've crossed swords
5 times. Five times he called to me, and 5 times the boxer's lost. No disrespect to Jimmy Tibbs.
Well, we'll see what happens this time round. You know, Bill, one thing I know about Billy Joe Saunders, and I've watched both the guys very closely. One thing I know about Bill is he needs a challenge, mental challenge to fight. And he's done that in a couple of fights where, like, for example, that Jared Fletcher, where he fought, he went in as the underdog, and all thought Fletcher was going to do a job, and he absolutely done a job on Fletcher, as we all know, went on and become quite a decent fighter. And Christopher at the moment, young Christopher's done everything he's been asked of him, but he's not fought at the same level as Bill, and that's what the unknown quantity is about this fight.
I'm the best British middleweight in the country right now.
You've done everything. I'm not criticising you.
It's true, mate. We will find out when you step in the ring with me.
That's what we will find out on the 29th. The best middleweight. Who's the best British, Commonwealth and European middleweight will be determined on the 29th. That's what we're going to know, and that's what makes this fight so exciting. It's what's so intriguing. And that's why me as a fan can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see this fight.
Frank, Billy's mandatory for a world title at the moment. If Chris wins, or if even Billy wins, do the winner fight for a world title next?
If Bill wins, the agreement with the WBO is that he will challenge the winner of Andy Lee and Cobb for the title. To go the other way, you know, that's up to them to make their decision. But you know, Bill, that's all done and dusted, and provided. Obviously, Bill does what he says he's going to do, what we think he's going to do. So it's going to be a very interesting time. It's a big carrot for him. You know, it's not just the one fight; it's the world title fight comes afterwards.
Brad Bill's also said if he loses, he's going to retire. Do you think he's going to do that? Or is that
well, that's what he said, and you know, people say things, but I don't think he's thinking about losing. But he just said yes.
Chris, could I ask you, what would you have liked to have been in this position earlier in your career? Why that didn't happen?
The position I'm in now is the perfect timing. You know, as I've said in the past, there's no rushing, there's no deadlines when it comes to my career. Everything is done when we want it to be done, and we want this fight now, and it's happening now. So everything's on track.
Where are you going to train for the Saunders fight? You're not going out of the country again, are
I
you?
don't need to go overseas and do any special camps to beat this guy. I can stay in Brighton and home and just do what I've been doing and take this guy out comfortably. So I'll be staying in England.
Chris Jr., following on from Jeremy's question there, would you have preferred to have more, or you say you're fighting on the 25th to gain more experience and be fighting more, would you have preferred if the public pressure wasn't there to maybe take this fight a year down the line? Or you feel that you're in some shape now?
I don't feel any pressure. Like I said, we do things when we want to do things, and I want to fight on the 29th, so that's when it's happening. It's my time is now. It's my time now.
Was this fight on the 25th agreed before talks began for Billy Joe Saunders?
It's all basically, it's all part of the contract. That's what, to get this fight together, we had to do a lot of things that I would not normally do as a promoter. But Bill wanted to fight, young Chris wanted to fight, and it's a matter of making sure it happened. And I've made sure it happened.
The only reason that the press conference is happening today to talk about the fight between Billy Joe Saunders and Chris Eubank is the fact that we only got this morning it's sanctioned by the Boxing Board of Control. That only happened this morning, so by contract we weren't able to talk about it before. That's why we convened at press conferences. As I said before, we're not running away from him, we are running to him, but we want to do it properly and legally. We're not being forced and we're not being ran into anything. We're doing everything by the book.
But was the fight on the 25th, was there any hope of maybe pushing that forward, like earlier on one of your cards, your call, for example? The fight is happening on the 25th of October. Was there no chance of maybe Chris fighting on one of your shows at your call earlier?
That's what it is. That's what he wants. That's where we are. You know, Bill was very disappointed. The way this is dragged on, and it has dragged on, and some of it's totally unnecessary, irrespective of what Chris is saying.
No, it can't be irrespective of the content.
Can you let, I'll let you speak. So let me speak. Sure. That's what happens when you co-promote it. Sure. Right, so the fact of the matter is, it was a headache. And it become, at times, what we're doing this for. We're doing it for the fans. So we've done it to make sure it happens. The British title fight was always going to be on the line because it was a matter of me dealing with Mick Hennessy. But it was pointless me dealing with Mick Hennessy over Blackwell until we knew where we were with Chris. Otherwise, I've had to pay people to ensure this fight's happened. Pay step-aside money to people. And it's a bit galling to have to do that. If I'd had a bit more cooperation, it'd be much easier. But we are where we are. I was determined to get this over the line. Bill wanted it. Young Christopher wanted it. And at the end of the day, we've got it there. So the fight's on, and all I'm saying now, there is no doubt it's not signed the contract. There is no doubt it's for the 3 titles. So we want cooperation to make this a success story for everybody who's involved in it. So everybody gets something out of it as far as what we're doing as promoters.
What have you geared the XL for at night, Frank?
It'll be set out for 20,000.
There's never been 20,000 in there before.
No, it's a rectangle-shaped building, and that's the problem. It's not a square building. It'll be set out for 20,000. And we've sold 13,000 already.
Team Eubank advised Chris Eubank Jr. to let everything be set in contract form, not handshakes and word of mouth and promises, contracts. So that's the reason why we can today talk about Billy Joe Saunders. We couldn't at 9 o'clock this morning. I spoke to Robert Smith, as I said, I spoke to Robert Smith at about 10:30 and he said, we have this morning sanctioned the fight. So I heard it from the man himself, so now we can go forward. So we haven't been running, we haven't been out.
But just so everybody knows, the previous fights were handshakes.
British, Commonwealth and European,
The previous fights we had were handshakes. The word was good enough then and everything was delivered as per the Anyway, irrespective of that, we've got a fight. It's on. I'm looking forward to it. And I'm telling you, I am going to find the easiest job, so don't know I'm crying after we're buying tickets. We are, and I've never said this before, I'm looking for an easy job. For Chris, I don't know the hiccups, I want this fight on the 29th so that we all get what we're craving to see, a great domestic bust-up. We've got 4 of them on this show, 4 fantastic domestic fights. We've got the Chisora Fury fight, we've got Billy Joe and Christopher, we've got Liam Walsh, Gary Sykes, we've got Frankie Gavin and Bradley Ski, We've got Bully Owney and Andrew Robinson. I mean, these are good domestic fights. They're all bill toppers in their own right. It's a fabulous night for boxing. It's not pay-per-view.
Was there any
subscription?
Was there any other temptation to make it? Was there any other temptation to make it a pay-per-view?
No, it's not paid. And if you subscribe that month, you subscribe for this fight, you're getting that month also Kovalov and what's his name? Hopkins. Great fight. You're getting Manny Pacquiao, all for 12 quid. You ain't got to pay 15 or 20 quid pay-per-view for a non-title fight. These are title fights and proper fights. 12 quid. Thank you for reminding me. That's that.
Crawford Beltry.
Yeah, exactly. And Terence Crawford as well. How about that? Don't get no better than that as a fight fan. And that's that 12 quid. If you buy 4 boxing newsies that month, it's less than buying 4 boxing newsies to see that. I tell you what, no wonder I'm going skin. Anyway, we've got some good, let's say, great fights, great card, and I'm really looking forward now, everybody working together. I'm looking forward to Bill getting his training done, coming back here so we can do something with him and Christopher. And as I say, this is going to be a great show. Do not miss it. I think it's going to be one of the best nights for a long, long time in British boxing. So, does anybody want to ask anything else? Go on, mate.
Is there going to be a press conference the week of the fight?
Absolutely. But we save the fight until the 29th. It's a press conference.
So long as you guys are willing to come down to Brighton for the press conference, that's fine.
Who's the champion? Why have we got to go to Brighton? Here we go again.
Well, then come.
Here we go again. It's supposed to be a joint. Guys, you're looking forward to going to Brighton.
Brighton has a lovely beach.
Not this time, Heath.
Seaside. Come down and enjoy.
That's why you did so well as a promoter. Right. Crazy. I mean, that's what that's. So this is the irritating stuff that you get. We're the European. So the British Commonwealth and the Europeans going to go. We're going to Brighton because you want it in Brighton. I mean, what respect is that to him as a champion?
We don't need to do a press conference a week before the fight. My Christopher Jr. will be training. Okay, but let's see what happens. Who knows? It's possible. Everything's possible.
Well, I've got to tell you something. If there's no press conferences, we're not doing anything. And if you're calling this being the press conference, then I don't know where I'm at with this, because that is not good enough for me. It's not good enough for the press. It's not good enough for the public. It's wrong, and you know it's wrong. And it's just another demonstration of you being awkward for no reason. It's crazy stuff. Why would you even think about that?
Think about what? Having him come to the Brighton?
Yeah. Why would you even... What about the press?
Everything's possible.
What about the press?
Everything's possible.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we're going to wrap this up because I'm going to have to go and get some more energy. Thanks very much for coming up. Thank you, Christopher, for coming here today. Appreciate it. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Ron. All the guys. Thanks very much. Thank you.